we are back, guys. Another Strictly Auburn episode podcast, and we got loads of stuff to talk about. Connor King, Jake Lazarus, and me, Eli Lingo. We're excited to talk about all this news that's been happening. A big baseball opening season series that Jake was at, so he'll talk about that. We got some football stuff, got some basketball stuff we'll hit, but let's go ahead and jump into it. So, like I mentioned, Jake, a huge opening series for the Auburn baseball team. You were there. You covered one of the games. Wrote some articles for it. Let me know what you thought about the team and how they performed.
All right, so let's start with Friday.
Okay.
I know you guys had classes on Friday. It was cold. It was cold, dude.
Oh, yeah.
We showed up, so it was awesome. All the opening day stuff. Team comes out. Hugh Freeze had
the first pitch, right?
It was pretty cool. Pretty awesome that baseball season's here. But yeah, game kind of went on. By the sixth inning, freezing cold.
Indiana, right? We played Indiana.
Yeah, we were playing Indiana. It was a lot of fun. Everything was kind of clicking for Auburn in the first game. Indiana made a couple key errors. We scored a couple early runs, got out to a pretty comfortable lead. And yeah, it just kind of went from there. It just kind of clicked for the offense on Friday.
And how bad we beat them? It was pretty good. It was
8-4.
8-4.
So it's a good win.
Yeah, and Joseph Gonzalez pitched that game, right? Started
game two.
Game two, sorry. Pitched the second game. So who pitched the first game?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember who started the opening.
Okay.
It was a freshman.
Freshman, okay.
Yeah,
Freshman, I know.
And then
he pitched pretty well.
Yeah, and then on Saturday, Joseph Gonzalez, probably the Auburn ace, probably earned the ace spot for the rest of the season. He threw 5 shutout innings, which was pretty impressive.
5 shutouts. Oh my gosh.
3 hits, 5 shutout innings. We ended up winning that one 6-1, kind of on the back of Gonzalez. He throws a nasty two-seam and a nasty slider. He's trying to add in that third pitch, a changeup, which will make him a little more MLB
He's known for his
favorable.
two-seams, though, right?
Yeah, so
because he throws.
So to a right-handed hitter, he's a right-handed pitcher. So to
Right.
a right-handed hitter, a two-seam fastball will ride up and in on a right-hander's hands, and a slider will break the other way.
Right.
But right out of the hand, it'll look identical.
Yeah, that's
So
the crazy.
so
That's the crazy thing about
So
baseball.
it's a really hard combo
Exactly.
to face.
Yeah.
And if you add a changeup, the changeup will just drop.
Yeah.
It'll drop out. So
So
it's really tough.
Absolutely. One guy I want to highlight about is Ike Irish.
Oh my God,
He was a demon this weekend, and he's very young. He's a true freshman.
Freshman. Yeah.
He came out swinging this weekend, and I don't know what position he plays in the field, but I did see him at bat a few times, and he was a beast.
6 hits and 12 at bats.
that's
Yeah,
insane.
he plays catcher. So Nate LaRue is going to be the starting catcher this year. He's at times his bat is a little bit disappointing. That's kind of his fault.
Yeah.
But he's so good behind the plate, and he's really good for the staff. So he's a wicked cannon.
Yeah.
So good luck stealing on Nate LaRue.
And then another guy I want to mention that had a crazy performance on Sunday that Jake was talking to me about earlier is Zach Crotchfeld. Probably one of the most iconic Auburn names. I mean, top 3 easy. I mean, Crotchfeld, come on,
Awesome.
Can't get better than that. That's an amazing last name, but with an amazing last name, he had an amazing performance. You told me he sat 92 pitching, and he's a freshman too.
He gave up a couple runs, so a lot to be worked on there. But as a reliever, his fastball was sitting at 92, 93. When he had to later in counts, he was notching it all the way up 95, 96, 97. So that's just arm talent right there. He also mixed in a changeup which sat at 87, 88, and then he mixed in a curveball later in counts, which was also pretty nasty. But as a relief pitcher, just as someone that watched a lot of baseball, when you see someone that can come in
and throw 97, that's insane.
96, 97, and you think he's only going to get bigger and stronger as he gets older. Yeah. And so he pitched, I think it was 3 innings on that day.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think if he's throwing 1 inning and he comes in knowing I have to get 2 outs in this inning.
Yeah.
This is a big spot, bases loaded, I got to get this out.
It's a lot of pressure.
He's notching that up 96.
That is true.
97.
Yeah, that is true.
He's fired up.
And it's good to have that in such a young guy because, like you said, he's just only going to get bigger, stronger. And, if he's sitting at 92 right now, there's no telling with the Auburn strength program and conditioning can get him sitting at earlier in the year.
We've seen a couple of guys come through Auburn, pitchers.
Yeah.
Casey Mize, first overall pick a number of years ago.
Oh, my
So
gosh.
Butch Thompson knows what he's doing with his pitching staff.
Sure.
Obviously, Tim Hudson's not here anymore, so having that MLB voice in the back of your ear is always nice. But
Tim Hudson was a really good coach, but Butch
and
Thompson,
a really good MLB pitcher.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But all in all, I think the baseball team showed a really good performance. We have another series coming up this weekend, right, against USC.
We got a score update right now.
Okay. They're actually playing right now. Yeah.
At the bottom of the sixth against University of North Alabama, they're up 10-1, which I'm gonna go ahead and say we're gonna be 3-1 on the season.
Yeah, we took 3-1. 3-1.
By the time y'all watch this game, we'll be 3-1, and hopefully we'll win 15-1 instead of 10-1. So it seems like we're hitting well tonight. And actually, Ike Irish is 2-2 on the night, and he's.
I think 2 for 3. I think he's 2 for 3 with a couple base hits and a ribby.
So he is. He's 2 for 3.
He is on fire right now, and I think I said this in my article. Shameless plug. Go read my article on Eagle Eye. It's good.
Yeah.
He's seeing the ball so well right now. Like after every pitch that goes by, you're seeing him. He could watch a ball like a ball in the corner, and he's sitting there being like, all right, like I saw that, or ball that's close, be like, nope. When he ran down to first in Game 3 yesterday, we were getting killed. We were getting smacked. This kid's a true freshman. He's running down the line, looking back at the dugout, like firing everyone else up.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see that. I know the results didn't show on Sunday. We lost. We got smacked. But that passion, like, I felt like I saw something there that kind of went a little under the radar.
Super important in the future. One guy that's really important right now is Justin Kirby. And probably haven't heard too much about him. He's a Kent State grad transfer, and he hit 2 home runs this weekend. I didn't know much about him. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there was a lot of guys that were highlighted most of the weekend, but Kirby had himself a weekend, and I have a feeling that down the stretch throughout the season, he's going to be super important, and I think he's going to clutch up for us at bat a lot. So.
And they weren't dinky home runs either. They were bombs.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, baseball, they killed it. And, with baseball season starting to heat up, we're going to be coming out with tons of baseball content for y'all. I'm sure Jake would love to do only baseball show because, this guy loves to talk a lot about baseball.
Yes, sir.
But we're going to hit football, and then we're going to talk about some basketball. I know there's not a lot of football news right now, but what I did want to talk about is, the spring game, the annual spring game is coming up on April 8th. So in a couple of weeks, but I just less than a month. But I wanted to talk about what are some things just off the top of your head that, you want to see from the spring game that is going to give you a little bit of hope into this season.
So one of the things that I'm kind of watching for is obviously
what are y'all watching for?
Obviously the quarterback play. We know the defense is going to be there. We know what Jarquez brings to the table. We know what our young wide receivers have, and like Camden Brown and everyone else that's coming back. The quarterback play is really the biggest question mark. You can't tell much in a spring game from the offensive line because it's not going 100%. And you can't really tell. But the quarterback play, we're going to see I assume TJ Finley is going to get some reps. I would assume Robbie's going to get the majority.
I mean, they're probably going to throw Robbie out there for sure.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I hope neither of them are our starting quarterbacks come fall. I hope they're not.
Okay.
I'm not very confident in them.
We'll go ahead and bookmark that for when Robbie shows up.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope he shows up.
I
just don't see it.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
I really hope a transfer comes in and gives our quarterbacks a run.
Speaking of transfers,
competition there right now.
One of the most important things I think that I'm looking for during the spring game is how our transfers from this past portal come in and just mesh with the rest of our team and the new coaching staff and everything. There's a lot of new people on both sides of the ball, the people that don't play on the field either. I just want to see everybody come in and just play as a team because it seemed like so much last season we didn't. So I'm just excited to see how new and how improved this team looks during the spring.
Yeah, I mean, that you pretty much hit it on the head. I just want to see how Hugh Freeze can take this team and make them seem like a team, make them feel more comfortable. And, I mean, we have a whole new staff. So I want to see how, Rob Montgomery and our defense looks and I want to see how different our offense looks because it's going to be a completely different offense. I want to see how Hugh Freeze we're not going to see a lot of, creativity in the spring game because, it's going to be pretty vanilla. But I want to see just, minor differences and hopefully we have a little bit of spark here and there with, Hugh Freeze and Robbie Ashford. But
what specifically are you looking for? Like, is there something that we should be looking out for?
A big thing that Hugh Freeze loves to use is his big tight ends. And, we got that really big tight end from FIU who is like 6'5", and he's lightning fast. So I want to see us use him. And then we have a freshman he'll be a sophomore this year, Riley Duckman, who is a 4-star coming out of high school, who's another really good tight end. So hopefully we can just use the tight ends a little bit more in the passing game, the way Hugh Freeze likes to use those tight ends. And, I mean, just to see these receivers stand out too, because we have a lot of guys that I feel like haven't got a lot of shine just because of, Robbie Ashford, the O lineman. But I'm rambling. But yeah, I just
Brian Harsin.
And Brian Harsin, obviously. But yeah.
I have a question for y'all.
Go
I was
ahead.
watching on the Josh Pate podcast. He's a college football
Really dog,
analysis. He's a dog.
Amazing.
I love him. He's my go-to guy in the mornings when I'm waking up making breakfast. But
Sure. Josh Pate.
yeah,
Dude, he's a dog.
great. Yeah.
Josh Pate, strictly Auburn.
And
Come on.
hey, you're from Columbus, so if you ever want to come over and talk with us for a little bit, please do. But he proposed this question earlier this week about what if spring games turned into like actual football games against maybe an FCS team or maybe a Sun Belt team or something like that, and it obviously wouldn't be like a full 15-minute quarter
Full
game
game,
and everything,
right.
and there would be regulations and a lot of
It'd be like an
things to avoid
inter-squad.
injuries. But yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How do y'all feel about that? You think that could actually happen at some point?
I think honestly, I don't mind the idea at all.
It helped TV ratings go up.
It'll help TV ratings and get some people in the seats. But I think, from just a logistics standpoint, you want to be careful about your team heading into the new season. You don't want to get anybody hurt. You don't want any situations like that. So the only problem I wouldn't do that is just because of that.
Right.
But other than that, I think it would create a lot of intensity for both teams to play against a different team they haven't been seen. They've been playing against the same guys for since summer and spring.
Right.
So that would add a cool little variety to it. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm not much of a fan of that, to be honest.
Really?
I like the whole spring inter-squad. You see your team,
Yeah,
you
that's
keep
true.
tradition there.
There's a good tradition.
I'm not a fan of that. And especially if you're seeing FCS competition, that's not the same level of competition
Right.
you're going to see come fall.
True.
With all due respect, we're playing SEC football.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no
That's true.
FCS team that can give an SEC team a real test in just a one-on-one situation, like a FCS cornerback going up against the Camden Brown
True.
type receiver.
No, that's good. True.
Oh,
Good
I know.
question. Though. Good
Yeah,
question.
I
What do you think?
completely agree. I'm there with y'all too. I think it's a great money grab, but it's super risky.
It is kind of risky.
One wrong play, one wrong cut, and
You
you
start
get
a
hit.
quarterback,
Robbie
done,
Ashford
yeah.
has a broken ankle, and I just would hate to see that. There's too much on the line of the season, and I think it's a cool idea in retrospect. But at the end of the day, I think SEC teams would be the last of the conferences to actually.
I think it
do
would be
something
really
like
cool.
this.
They do it in the NFL when they do training camps. They'll do like
A little 7-on-7
for
stuff.
for 1 week. They'll do training camp with each other. I think that
That'd
would
be kinda
really
cool,
cool.
yeah.
But it would have to be a team that's out of conference that you're. Maybe not going to see in the regular season because you can't give away game plans. But I think that would get really interesting because
You could broadcast that too for sure. Like
yeah,
a little,
it would just
like
be-
over the
just-
summer
just-
kind of
just
thing.
high
Yeah.
intensity,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
You never know.
In the spring though,
Spring
I
could
don't-
get
I
down
don't
to
think
it
that
to where you're
works.
just getting ready for the fall
Exactly.
and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Okay, so that wraps up for football, but some basketball stuff. Not a ton of news there. Unfortunately, the team's not doing as good as we hoped for. It's just a lot of.
you could just say it. We stink.
We do suck right now, but it's okay. We just lost to Vanderbilt in a freaking heartbreaker.
Should have won
With
that
10 seconds left, they drove down and got a little 2 to win the game. Should have won that game. But a big question I want to ask y'all, which a lot of people are kind of hinting towards, is the amount of free throws or more free throws that all the teams that we're playing are shooting more than us. It's like almost 20 more free throws are being shot more than Auburn. Then what do y'all think about that? I think it obviously has a huge impact on the game, and I don't know how you fix it or what you do, but I think it's kind of crazy how they're shooting that many more free throws than us.
Play better defense.
Yeah.
I as much as I want to blame it on the refs, there's been some really, really, really questionable calls this season.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the Tennessee game, if you were watching that game, the last shot Wendell Green took, I think it was foul. But
Obviously.
we can't control that. We
You
can
can't
never
control that. And
No,
also,
you can't.
that argument, he had to hit 3 free throws in a road
to
environment
tie the game.
to tie the game.
And then go to overtime and try to win the game again. Yeah, it's
And
tough.
overtime always favors the better
Better
team.
team, yeah.
They're definitely the better.
Right.
Tennessee's definitely the better team, and overtime, that's another beast.
Exactly.
In terms of free throws, though, it's defense, dude. Like
Yeah.
we don't even we have so many guys that play that they have no hesitation in playing super physical, which is fine until you have guys like Dylan Cardwell who play 15 minutes a game and somehow commit 4 fouls.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like those stats don't add up.
No.
Like you can't have a foul every single time someone drives on you, or like there has to be some hesitation of, all right, this is an easy layup. These are points. You don't have to go up and contest every easy shot.
Yeah.
And
Stephen Pearl actually mentioned that, so yeah, you're definitely right on that one. He mentioned like you can't go into a game and just like you said, go in 15 minutes and somehow get 4. Like that's insane. Yeah.
And turnovers are killer. Like we have a couple guards who are really playing well, and you watch and feed the ball down low, and you have guys like Dylan and Janai who they'll make a few flashy plays, but you miss all like a ball get kicked down low and it'll hit off of Dylan Cardwell's leg, and it's like, bro, that's
steal, throw it down the court, dunk, and
that's a 4 or 5 point swing at times, and it's impossible to recover from those. You're just handing them free points. So handling the ball like it's a friggin' baby, like it's your baby for that possession. Take care of it.
Exactly.
Love it. Shoot it.
I like that.
It's your baby. And then on the defensive end, you don't have to pressure every single shot, right?
And the thing that's crazy is like, Auburn's we're known for being able to have crazy full court pressure, half court pressure, and then when there's 10 seconds left, first of all, you don't have one of your best shot blockers on the team, Janai Broom, in the game, and then you don't need to do a full court press, which is nuts. Like, how do you not do that with 10 seconds left to go with a tie? I mean, what was Bruce Pearl thinking right there?
That didn't bother me. The lack of the press didn't bother me, actually. It was more of the effort that I watched. This dude literally drove down with 10 seconds left.
Just hit such an easy
layup on Dylan Cardwell, who is 6'11", just went up for a left-handed layup on his weak side hand. Just easy layup. Yeah. There was no defense, no nothing. No one stood him up. No one pressured the ball as soon as he crossed half court.
You talk about fouls. Why not foul there, right?
I don't play basketball, but I know that was bad.
Just meet him at half court.
That's what I'm saying. Why didn't you have the full court pressure? I mean, you do it when you're in less situations than that. Why not have it there? And why not have Janai in the game? Anyways, crappy game. We play Ole Miss tomorrow at home. Should be a good game. Real quick question. How do you think we finish these last 4 games?
Well, just for starters, tomorrow is as much of a must-win as I've ever seen in my career.
Tournament. I mean,
this is a must-win game. This is, in my eyes, this is for the tournament. If we win versus Ole Miss,
we should have a
we should have it. We should have a shot to get in, even if it's as a double-digit seed. If we lose this game, we're done. Final 3 games are absolutely killer. We go on the road to Kentucky, on the road to Alabama, and then play Tennessee at home, which we lost.
Right.
We'd head into the SEC tournament as a bottom seed, probably getting a first-round bye, and then we test our luck. We have to go 1-3 to finish out. Going 500 would be a steal.
I want to say 1-3 we can make the tournament, but
even
the field is tough this year. The field is really tough, and the SEC is stacked, and the SEC is stacked in every sport right now.
Yeah.
But I think that we need to go 2-2. We need to beat Ole Miss. If we don't beat Ole Miss, we don't deserve to be in the tournament. They're not good. Ole Miss is not a good basketball team.
We're really not.
Also, Kentucky has not been playing Kentucky basketball either. I think we should win that one as well. I can't say anything about the Alabama team right now.
Well, Kentucky's on fire right now.
They're
catching fire. Yeah,
they have, but it's gonna be tough to go and run and beat them.
Any Coach K team is good.
Yeah, I think we are definitely capable of beating Kentucky. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think we can beat Kentucky. I think we can beat Ole Miss. Alabama's super talented, and we're going to Tuscaloosa. That's going to be tough. Yeah, we should hopefully hang with Tennessee like we did the first game, but
we'll see. I think having that home advantage could maybe give us the edge, but we'll just see from there. You watch us. We shoot lights out against Missouri, and then we come to Vandy and just completely forget how to play.
Missouri also beat Tennessee on a buzzer beater the game before too.
Momentum in there. The other thing I noticed watching this team is there's always energy around this team, but it's always a flat energy, right? You gotta peak in games. You gotta have moments in the game where someone will throw down a dunk and just provides the spark. You just have this energy burst.
Well,
I don't think they come out and it's just so flat. Nothing happens for this team.
Well, I think we come out with a good spark on offense. I mean, you would always see we go up 10 points or 10-0 runs, 8-0 runs, 8-1 runs, but we just can't consistently keep that momentum throughout the whole game. That's what you see we can't close games. That's the biggest problem this team has. I mean, every single game that we've lost to that's been big games have been by 4 points. Right. 4 to 2 points. So it's I think going into the tournament we have to be able to close games.
There's one dude who has that mentality that when they're down, step on their throat and finish them. It's Wendell has that mentality. Yeah. Wendell has that dog mentality. We always say he's got bad shot selection, but I mean, in my eyes, he's got balls. Like, he's willing to step up and take that shot and call a game and make a big defensive stand, go in and drive and draw fouls, and draw contact and play tough defense. Like, he is that guy.
And Wendell Green, last season he had a pretty decent shot selection. And the reason why, he was surrounded by talent. He had Jabari Smith on the wing. He had Walker Kessler on the block. We don't have that this year. Yeah, we have Janai Broom, and we have
Flanagan
or Jalen.
Yeah, and they're good players, but they aren't first round NBA talents. Yeah. And whenever that happens, you need someone like Wendell Green to pull up from the logo and hopefully make that three and get a spark on the offense, get a spark and change the momentum. So I like Wendell, and I like when he takes shots that are a little bit ballsy, but keep doing your thing, Wendell.
That spark for me, like I've said this for 3 weeks to y'all now. I really, really, really want to see Wendell and Trey on the floor at the same time.
Yeah, we both were talking
That's
about
that spark. That's that offensive spark. They're so good when they're on the floor together. They run the floor so well. Yeah, we lack in the defensive end, but honestly,
even Trey's defense. I mean, he's an ex-football player. He plays really physical defense, and seeing him be able to, I mean, he almost has he has a same ability with assists the way Wendell does. I mean, he can create shots and with a flick of the wrist, sling that ball across the court, and it's on a dime. Right. So, I mean, Wendell and Trey is a really good duo that we need to keep. I think we need to keep in that rotation. And, I mean, we play Ole Miss on Wednesday, which is a must-win game, and then we go to Kentucky on Saturday, which is going to be an insane game. But
it's big for them, too. It's a must-win for Kentucky, too.
So that's a lot of anticipated games for the basketball team. A big, series for the baseball team this weekend as well. So a lot of jam-packed stuff that we'll be able to talk to again next week on Tuesday. So be looking out for this episode tomorrow. We'll post that tomorrow morning sometime. But that wraps it up for the Strictly Auburn episode podcast. Well, good. Y'all have anything else you need to say?
Nope.
I said my piece.
Already.
All right. War Eagle, guys.
War Eagle.